Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Objective Waltz 5721. Am I the beehole for refusing to drive my husband to the airport and being upset that he's leaving? Some background. We live on the East Coast, and his family lives in Texas. My family lives about 4 hours away. They drive to us for every holiday, birthday, dance recital, etc., etc. We have lived here for roughly 7 years. Before that, we lived in Texas. His family takes several trips/vacations a year, and only once, this year, came to visit us. Over the 7 years, we have went to visit them at minimum 1 to 3 times per year. My husband works out of town about 3 weeks a month, so it's a lot of solo parenting for me. The weekend before Christmas, he went with his parents and siblings to visit his grandparents. Myself and my children were able to go as my daughter had holiday things going on at home she didn't want to miss. He came home the Monday before Christmas and asked if we could swing a trip to Texas after Xmas to see his family, and so his dad and him could go to the Alamo Bowl. I told him that we couldn't, unfortunately. We really couldn't swing an unplanned trip financially right now, and with wanting to travel so close to the holidays, booking prices were extremely high. I also explained to him that our daughter had off school and all sport events this week, and that never happens, especially when he's home too. I really wanted this to be the week for all of us to spend together, especially since he'll start traveling for work again on the 2nd of January and will not be home until the last week of January. The day before Christmas Eve, I was out shopping and he texted me saying he knew I was going to be mad, but his dad had booked him a flight and bought tickets for himself, my husband, my brother-in-law, and mother-in-law, all to go to the game. He would return on the 30th. I got so upset because we really had talked about going, and I said that we just couldn't swing it this year. His response was that he knew nothing about this and his dad surprised him with it the last minute as an Xmas gift. Which is a lie, because they mailed our gifts to us and our children, and he had received an Xmas gift. I asked him if everything had already been purchased, as I would like him not to go. He said yes, and that he was going because it's something he really wanted to do. We haven't spoken much since then. Honestly, because I feel very hurt that he doesn't want to spend time with myself and our children before the long work trip. After he's just seen his family last week and would rather spend most of the week with his parents, he said that we could just book flights for myself and our kids to go, but we honestly don't have the money and I'm not maxing out a credit card for an unplanned trip. Tonight, he asked me if I'll be driving him to the airport tomorrow morning for a 6 a.m. flight. I told him that he will need to book an Uber because I'm not waking our kids up at 3:30 a.m. to drive an hour each way to the airport so that he can go on a trip that I don't even want him to go on. He says that I'm being unreasonable. Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole, cause definitely gonna say your husband's a beehole and his dad and the mom and the brother-in-law. I don't know if they know. Maybe not them, but the dad probably knows for sure. Or you know what? Maybe he didn't even tell him that you said that. Maybe he said that, oh, we can't go because of money, and his dad bought everything. So maybe not even the dad. I gotta know more about what their involvement is in the story. But yeah, your husband's definitely the beehole, especially since his job is traveling. Like, I'd be okay with it if his parents lived maybe a couple hours away, but yeah, you gotta take a whole flight to get to them. And yeah, it's the week you don't get to spend a lot of time with him, and I'd be bummed out too. The person I, married and love doesn't want to spend time with me when their job doesn't allow them to spend a lot of time with me. And I absolutely don't blame you for not wanting to wake up early in the morning and take someone to the airport. I hate taking people to the airport. If someone takes you to the airport, that's a good friend or that person really loves you. No offense to you, OP. I get it. If I were in your shoes, I'd feel hurt too, and I'd be like, figure it out, dude. You made the decision without me, and you went above my head after I explained why I didn't want you to go. And so if you're going, figure it out. Buy yourself an Uber or call your dad and tell him to pick you up to, order an Uber for him. Uh, yeah, stay in your bed and stay warm. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to spend time with you or his family, so why would he want to go in a car with you for, I don't know how far the airport is, but like I said, doesn't want to spend time with you. Why would he want to be locked in a car with you for, I'm guessing, an hour or two to get to the airport? Maybe an hour to get to the airport. Yeah, not the beehole. And our next one comes from Ceramic Planter. Am I the beehole for thinking that it's unfair that my husband plans to give money to his daughter who shared his parents' inheritance already? Not in the US. My husband, Nate, and I are both 50, and have been married for 24 years with twin sons, age 22. He got into an awful car accident a couple months ago, and although not seriously injured, he was shaken. He now often talks about how his life is fleeting, and we should make sure to be prepared. Nate has two siblings, an older brother and a sister, Tina, age 33. Tina is actually Nate's biological daughter. He had her in high school, and his parents adopted her from birth. Her mom was never in the picture. The family also knows about this, including Tina herself. Tina and my family were cordial, but not close. Nate's parents passed away within a year of each other, almost a decade ago. They split all they had 3 ways for their 3 kids. 5 years ago, Nate's older brother decided to join a monastery. He left behind all of his worldly possessions to Tina and my sons, though my sons mostly got things of sentimental value, while Tina got things of more monetary value. I think my in-laws were all within their rights to handle their money as they saw fit. My problem was Nate. Yesterday, Nate told me he had a rough idea of how much he'd like his possessions to be taken care of. Basically, he would like to split all he has 3 ways, Tina and our 2 sons. We don't have a lot, but Nate has his parents' inheritance, and he would like to give all of that to his children equally. I asked him, how was that fair? Tina was adopted by his parents and already received her inheritance, as their daughter. If his parents gave him and his brother half and half, I would understand why he felt he would need to provide Tina with something. As it is, Tina already took from his share of the inheritance. Moreover, his brother already gave her money and valuables worth more than their sons received. Tina is also a dentist. She is in no way in need of financial help. Nate said, at the end of the day, Tina is his biological daughter, and it's only right that he left something. I don't think we need to pile on more money onto a capable woman with a good job who already has so much while our sons are still young and just trying to start their careers. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. We're gonna exclude what she inherited from her uncle, I guess. Sorry, joining a monastery and her being well off as a dentist. We'll just go with logic right here. Technically, she is not his daughter. She was adopted by his parents, and I think a parent should look out for their kids, and he should be focusing on, yes, your twin sons. And I know I said leave it out, but you know what I mean. She's not in a ditch. She's not doing horribly. You know what I mean. And she already did get her part of the inheritance. Why does she get a double dip? So I agree with the OP. I don't think you're the beehole. I think you should prioritize you and your twin sons. So yeah, not the beehole. And our next one comes from Little Contract 9063. Am I the beehole for serving a woman wearing a hijab a dish with bacon in it? I, a 19-year-old female, am a full-time university student, and I work at a popular chain restaurant in the US known for its never-ending soup, salad, and breadsticks. At the time, we were also doing the never-ending pasta deal. Needless to say, it was super busy. During this shift, I got a table of 4, with an adult woman wearing a hijab. After giving the table enough time to review the menu, I took the order. The adult woman orders the chicken and shrimp carbonara. I immediately frown at this because the pasta she ordered has bacon in it. It says it on the menu. I don't want to assume that she didn't eat bacon. I felt like I would have been the beehole if I assumed she couldn't eat a dish based on her appearance alone. She was the one who ordered it, and she wasn't rushed on my end to pick a meal quickly. The description clearly states that there's bacon in the dish. I didn't say anything and just put the order in. I have a pretty severe allergy to peanuts and tree nuts. I make sure to read the ingredients and ask questions when picking a meal. Sometimes I even go so far as to let the server know about my allergy when I am trying something new. This table did not do this. Was it obvious? Maybe, but I feel that when working in the service industry, it's best to never assume. I simply did what I was asked. I brought the food to the table, and she and her husband were furious. It was alarming. They were yelling enough to get the attention of other folks enjoying their meal in the dining room. Her husband requested to see my manager. My manager comped the meal, and at the table left the restaurant almost immediately. My manager sat me down after giving me a write-up. My manager said that I should have made more of an effort to let her know that the dish had bacon in it. The table told her my actions were offensive, as she almost ate the dish. I tried to explain to my manager that the guest ordered it. I never suggested the dish as an entree. It was a damned if I did, damned if I didn't situation. I think if I assumed she couldn't eat bacon or even acknowledged it, it would have came across as judgmental and rude. I don't think I deserved the write-up. Also, it was one of the busiest times of the year as the restaurant and I had other tables to attend to. I feel like my manager wrote me up to save her own butt. Am I the a-hole? Hi, OP, and I'm gonna say you're not the b-hole. Agree with you with that part with the manager. I thought I had a cool manager until she, was just about to let me hang out to dry, but that's another story. And I agree with you. Like I said, you're not the beehole. This woman is, well, a grown woman. She should have told you, hey, I don't eat pork. Does this dish have pork? And then you could have been like, oh, yeah, it has bacon. And then you probably could have been like, oh, we just won't add bacon. I think maybe they just wanted to get the food comped. I don't know. Did they leave with the food? And yeah, I kind of agree. This is a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you assumed like, oh, there's a bacon in this. She could have been like, oh, you judging me on my looks, and well, you're screwed there. And then you got the bacon, and then we saw what happened there. So, yeah, I don't think your manager should have wrote you up. That woman was an adult. An adult should know what she can and cannot eat, and convey it to the waiter. I don't really have any allergies like that, but I hate lemon in my water. And when I go to a restaurant, I tell them, hey, no lemon in the water. There we go, problem solved. And yeah, the place was busy, even though you were right and she doesn't eat bacon. Again, you shouldn't assume just based on people's looks, which you didn't. But yeah, you were busy, and I would assume if they're busy, you're gonna have mistakes. I think they just wanted to pop off on you like that. So OP, yeah, not the beehole. Our final one comes from Cataclysmus78. Am I the beehole for refusing my son's Christmas gift? I, a 40-ish male, live with my wife, a 40-ish female, and our youngest child, an 18-year-old male. Times have been tight for us the last few months. Our bills are paid, but we have essentially no discretionary income, and that means that Christmas presents were pretty much off the table. This is the first Christmas where this has been the case, and my wife and I have been pretty sad. Our son is aware of this, and being an empathetic kid, was accepting of the situation. He also was lucky in that we have a few wealthy relatives that gave him money for Christmas each year. So, Christmas morning comes around, and our son comes and gives us each a card. We smile and open them, and each card is $100. It almost brought me to tears. He used his own Christmas money to give us a gift, even though we couldn't give him anything. Here's where I am torn. I got up, gave him a hug, thanked him, and then gave him back the money. I told him that he will never have to give us money. My personal feelings is that gifts of money go down generations, or sideways, but never up. I obviously do not want either of my children giving me money, and would never ask. It just seems wrong to me. He seemed a bit disappointed. I took the cards and put them on the mantle over the fireplace, and made a big deal over how much we love them. But I refused the money and told him to keep it, and buy himself something nice with it. Am I the beehole for refusing the gift? Okay, so we have an update, but before we get into that, I'll give my thoughts on the main story first. OP, you are not the beehole. I see some people saying you're slightly the beehole. I could see that, but I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. You're trying to be a good parent. Well, you are a good parent, and I get it about not wanting your kids to give you money and not taking your child's money when it's was a gift to them. But you seem to have raised a good kid who was willing to do that. I don't know if I could have done that back at that age. Now I could. I have no problems giving my parents money if they need any help or anything like that. But man, good kid. Good job, guys. So I'm gonna say you're not the beehole, and I'd say I don't know what the counter to not the beehole is. You're the foot. You're the left. You're right foot. Right foot. Because you gave him back the money, and I think that's a great thing to do. And yeah, all around, this is a really nice story. Good family, good people. But let's take a look at the update. Update. Many here have suggested that I let him treat us to a nice dinner. I've just spoken to him, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you so much for your feedback and your kind words. I especially appreciate you're the beehole votes that include positive feedbacks and advice. I hope everyone has a happy new year. Like I said before, a good family. This one makes me feel good. I hope you guys enjoy your food, and I hope it doesn't play out like the other story if you're next to someone who's losing their mind because they couldn't ask the waiter or tell the waiter what they're allergic to or what they can't eat. So OP, like I said, good family, not the beehole. Good luck, and I hope things get better for you financially, where you guys can have a Christmas. And if things do pick up, don't wait until next year. Get you guys a present in February if things are better, by then. Still have your Christmas. Again, not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe. It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.